Big shout out to Sporting Icons, best channel out there.
Okay, everybody, hope you're all doing fantastic. So at long last, I get to release the top 25 British and Irish heavyweight ranking system that you and I created several months ago. And now I know it's been a few weeks even since I've done this particular one. Reason being because the earlier fights weren't happening in the heavyweight division for the British fighters. Over the last 3 or 4 weeks, quite a few fights have happened. So of course changes will be made and have been made. Again, a lot of it is based on what you guys say as well. Okay, so please drop your thoughts in the comment section as to what you think of this top 25, where you would move a certain fighter here or there, or etc, etc. Again, this is not based on what we believe would happen if fighter A would beat fighter B. We don't know that until we see it, okay? So this is based on what it is that they have done, okay? So anyway, if you are new to this channel, please make sure you are subscribed. It's free, it's brilliant. Who else does this? Nobody else does this, right? So this is your list for the top 25 for the British and Irish heavyweights. Number 25, William Howe. Number 24, Moses Atuma. Number 23, Jose Stewart. Number 22, Matty Harris. Number 21, Jay McFarland. Number 20, Cash Ali. Number 19, Nick Campbell. Number 18, Thomas Carty. Number 17, Stephen Robinson. Number 16, Frankie Ignatius. Number 15, Johnny Fisher. Number 14, Nathan Gorman. Number 13, Dave Allen. Number 12, Jamie TKV. Number 11, David Adelaide. Number 10, Solomon Dakers. Number 9, Fraser Clark. Number 8, Hughie Fury. Number 7, Fabio Wardley. Number 6, Daniel Dubois. Number 5, Derek Chisora. Number 4, Joyce. Number 3, Dillian White. Number 2, Anthony Joshua. And number 1, Tyson Fury. So there you go. This is the updated top 25 for the British and Irish heavyweights. Now, if we were to look at BoxRec, for example, Anthony Joshua would be number 1, Tyson Fury number 2. Okay, but it is what it is. This is our list, not theirs. So, quite a few fights have happened. So we can start off with number 2, Anthony Joshua. Of course, he knocked out Robert Helenius. Some people were critical of it. Some people were happy that he got a few rounds under his belt and ultimately got the knockout. But of course, since then, Robert Helenius has allegedly failed a PED test, or there's at least a finding at the minute. We have to wait for its full conclusion. But it turns out that he's knocked out somebody who's on PEDs, right? So the win is actually a little bit better than what I think people gave him credit for. So there you go. We have to wait and see what Anthony Joshua does next. Will he fight Deontay Wilder? What's happening there in Saudi Arabia? Let's go check out the previous video for that one. And maybe he's going to have another fight between now and then. We'll have to wait and see. Number 5, Derek Chisora. He beat Gerald Washington. Some people say arguably beat him. Some people say it's pretty close. Some people say it's pretty obvious that Derek Chisora won that fight. But either way, officially, he got the win. He got the win even. So he retains his position at number 5. In fact, he actually moves up a position because dropped below him is Daniel Dubois. For the second time now, he's quit in the fight. And for the third time, he keeps on taking knees. That's why people are nicknaming him Triple D. Triple Knee. All right? It's no longer Triple D, it's Triple Knee until he starts bucking up his ideas about quitting. But it wasn't really a close fight for him and Alexander Usyk. I know there's talk about that whole round number 5 situation, which is ridiculous. One moment in what turned out to be a 9-round fight, that's what people can point to, right? It's weird. Alexander Usyk beat him in every single round, dropped him twice, and made him quit. That's what happened. And for a lot of people that feel Dan Dubois can't come back from this. Once you quit, you're always going to quit. But for me, he's young enough, and hopefully he will. Okay, he needs to get that bit more steel in him. And I know it's different when we're sat on the other side of the ropes. It is what it is. Dan Dubois in at number 6. Number 9, Fraser Clark. Of course, he beat Dave Allen, where this fight was supposed to have been a little bit more competitive than what it was. But with the low blows and all these other kind of things going on during that fight, it wasn't exactly competitive, was it? Where Fraser Clark, he was winning that fight quite comfortably, and Dave Allen gave up on his stool, didn't he? Was it a perforated eardrum or something? Whatever it may be. So Fraser Clark, he gets a win over a name, if you like. So now it's going to be interesting to see what he does. Will he take on the winner of potentially Fabio Wardley and David Adelaide? If that fight gets happened, who knows? I text Fabio yesterday. He's going to let us all know what the plan is soon. All right. Number 10, Solomon Dakers. He beat a guy from, Germany, I think it was, who didn't really go headhunting with Solomon Dakers. I was a little bit disappointed with that one. I was, because it just seemed that he just wanted to throw some body attacks to Solomon Dakers, and that was pretty much it. Even in the final round, when you don't really throw body punches in the final round, that's when you go looking for the knockout, in the last couple of rounds, because you do the body shots earlier on to pay for it long term, but he kept on throwing body shots for some reason, didn't really go headhunting. So Solomon Dakers wasn't really tested upstairs, but he won that fight quite handedly, even though his ribs would be very, very sore, I would imagine. So he's still the English champion. Not that that belt was on the line, of course, because obviously he's fighting somebody who wasn't English, right? So anyway, be interested to see what he does. Maybe he's going to take on Fraser Clark next. Any reason why not? Other than the fact one's matchroom, one's boxer. Hey, politics are starting to creep into British boxing now, which is ridiculous. Number 13, Dave Allen. Just spoken about that fight. So as a result of that, he's been dropped down about 3 or 4 positions. Okay, so he's in at number 13. Is he going to continue boxing? I imagine he probably will. But we'll have to wait and see with that one. Number 15, Johnny Fisher. He's now the Southern Area Heavyweight Champion. Okay, where he defeated Harry Armstrong, beaten by stoppage, right? And Harry Armstrong really came to fight. You know, he gave Johnny Fisher some problems, but Johnny Fisher was looking so much better than what we've seen previously. He was actually boxing. Now, he came out the blocks and put it on Harry Armstrong, and nearly stopped him in the first round. But Harry Armstrong, he rode the storm and put it on Johnny Fisher. Now, luckily for Johnny Fisher, Harry Armstrong not the biggest puncher in the world, okay? But he showed a lot of skills in this fight. He was moving his head, he was side to side, he was being patient, using the jabs, using the body shots. He'd done very, very well. And as a reward, becomes the Southern Area Heavyweight Champion. Will he defend that belt against a Tommy Welsh or a Frankie Ignatius or however? We'll have to wait and see. We'll have to wait and see what he does next, or maybe a Jamie TKV. That would be an interesting one. It certainly will. Cash Ali, number 20. Now, he lost his last fight, believe it or not, against somebody who I've never heard of. That surprised me, but in some ways it didn't surprise me. Listen, I've spoke to Cash Ali before. I've done interviews and that with him. He's a nice guy, and I know people always remember him for the whole David Price biting the stomach kind of situation. But he was the IBF European Heavyweight Champion for a while he was under Dennis Hobson. I don't know if he's still under Dennis Hobson. I don't know what's happening with that relationship. But he doesn't really seem to be training that much. He doesn't seem to be taking his career very, very serious. And at times gets quite lazy and sloppy and tires in fights. I don't know what's up with him. I don't know what it is. He should never have lost to the guy that he just recently lost to. Should not have happened. Number 21, Jay McFarland. Well, yesterday he became the Scottish Heavyweight Champion. So he's now a 2-weight, believe it or not, Scottish Heavyweight Champion. He was Cruiserweight Scottish Champion. Now he's Heavyweight Scottish Champion. I think that's the first person to have ever done that for 2 weights for the Scottish Championship. Anyway, he defeated Mohammed Salim, stopped him in 8 rounds. Mohammed Salim was previously undefeated. I actually interviewed Mohammed Salim up at the Jobs gym when he's supposed to have been on a Matty Jobs show probably about a year or so ago, which he ended up pulling out of that show. But Jay McFarland, he gets the win on that one. So congratulations to him. Although he has fought for that belt before against Nick Campbell. Nick Campbell, of course, ended up stopping Jay McFarland. Okay. Number 22, Matty Harris. That's a shock upset for a lot of people. He wasn't supposed to lose. Not only lose, but get stopped. That was down to tiredness. I think he gassed out in that fight. I think that's pretty obvious. And for a big guy and for a young guy, should he really be gassing out? You probably have to say no, but at the same time, when you fight in the kind of opposition that you have been fighting, you're supposed to win these fights. So maybe he didn't take it too serious. Maybe he wasn't doing the road work. I don't know. And people say he's a quitter. Listen, I don't know about that. Okay, so he spat at the gum shield on purpose to buy a little bit of time. The bell was literally about to ring. All he had to do was keep that gum shield in his mouth and move a little bit to the side, and he would survived that round and moved into the next one. Who knows what would have happened then? But Matty Harris was winning the fight up to that point. And it goes to show, if your conditioning isn't right, you could be in trouble. So make sure your conditioning is right. Also, one punch in the heavyweight division changes everything. And that's ultimately what happened for Matty Harris. But he'll bounce back. For sure, he will bounce back. So I think that's pretty much it for the fight. Oh, Frankie Ignatius, of course, number 16. He's moved up a few positions now, where he defeated Steve Robinson on points. Now, he nearly got knocked out in the final round, but would have, should have, could have, nearlies and whatever, it doesn't matter. The important thing is, Frankie Ignatius, he got the result. I ain't going to say too much, but I just tell Stephen 2 weeks ago, pull out that fight, or 2 weeks before it, to pull out that fight, because he shouldn't have been in there. But anyway, it is what it is. He went through with the fight. We take the consequences. Be interesting to see what Franklin Ignatius does next, and what Stephen Robinson does next as well. But Franklin maybe can go fight Johnny Fisher for that Southern Area title. That fight was in talks originally. I don't know why that fight didn't happen, to be honest with you. Both sides blame each other, as far as I'm aware. So, oh yeah, new insert as well, William Howe, number 25. He's a heavyweight trained by Peter Fury. He's got 2 more fights coming up, actually, at the end of this month and on November the 4th, where he's going to be in Middlesbrough and of course at Rayton Arena beforehand. So local shows up here in the Northeast. Very, very good fighter. Nice guy. I've interviewed him a few times. His dad, Alan, quality guy, interviewed Peter Fury only a few days ago. So go check out that one if you haven't seen it already. So that's it. Of course, the guy who dropped out was Muhammad Salim, by the way. So William Howe, new insert 25, but number 25 last time out was Muhammad Salim, the guy who Jay McFarland knocked out. Okay, so that's it. So if you guys want to make any kind of changes, if you agree with this, just remember, okay, this is not about what you think would happen. If you think number 20 would defeat number 12, well, we have to see it, okay? So this is based on what is, what not might be, if that makes sense. Some people say Joshua should be number 1, like BoxRec has. Well, if the majority of you say it, then of course I'll make the change. But if you don't, then we keep it as it is. Drop your thoughts below, click thumbs up, subscribe. Catch you next video.